All right. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Megan. Feel free to grab any props that you may want to use tonight. Either a yoga block or pillows can sometimes be nice. So awesome. Let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seated position. So anything that feels good for you. You can always prop your glutes up on a block if the hips are feeling a bit tight. So go ahead and lengthen the spine up to the ceiling. Kind of tuck the chin a little bit and let your shoulders relax and melt down your ears. And before we get into the poses and movement of the yoga practice, we kind of take this as an opportunity to check in with ourselves, kind of see how we're doing, and we give our breath a chance to slow down. And when we do that, the mind and body seem to follow. So if you'd like, gently close the eyes or bring your gaze to a point on the floor in front of you. And we'll do some breathing. So why don't we take a big deep breath in through the nose, so nice and slowly. And then an even longer exhale slowly out through the mouth. And then using your breath as the pace for you, you can go ahead and do that a few more times and kind of check in with the physical body here. So notice if the elbows are tense or if you're forcing any sort of grip or position. Allow this to kind of be a practice of ease. And why don't we do that one more time, taking a full deep breath into the nose. And then full breath out through the mouth. And then gently blinking your eyes open and coming off of a yoga block or pillow if you're on one. Let's take a nice big deep breath in. So go ahead and reach the arms up towards the ceiling, spread through the fingertips, and then take a breath out as you exhale. Let's take a spinal twist to the right. So gently drop your right fingertips to the floor. And the left hand, it can maybe be resting on your right knee. And while that left hand is resting on the right knee, you can kind of give a little bit of a push to go into a deeper twist. And as long as you aren't feeling any pain or really forcing anything, using the exhales as a chance to go a bit deeper. Glancing over that right shoulder, stay here for another breath. And then exhale, come back to center. And let's go to the other side. Big inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, find your twist. So the left fingertips, they should just kind of be gently on the floor or on your mat. We don't want to be kind of putting our whole weight and arm into those fingertips. So we're even using our core here as we twist, gently using your right hand to press against the left knee if you decide. Another inhale. And exhale, come back to center. And from here, reach for your right leg. So your left hand is to the sole of the right foot and your right hand to the right knee. And from here, you can either kind of stay here hugging your right leg in if this feels like a good stretch, or to help open up the hips, you can start rocking from side to side gently. And again, staying with your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. And from here, we're going to extend our left leg out. So either if you need support, maybe just gently drop your right hand back behind you, kick the left leg nice and straight. And then for a deeper stretch, you can wrap your arms around this whole right shin here and interlace the fingertips. So take a squeeze in, pull that right shin into you. And then on the exhale, let's drop the right foot over the left leg. So plant your right foot on the floor, right fingertips down. We're going to come into another spinal twist. So as you inhale, reach your left hand to the ceiling. And then allow the elbow to hook right at the right knee. And as you exhale, twisting and looking over your right shoulder. And if twisting doesn't feel good, you can keep your gaze, wherever it feels right. So if it's feeling pretty painful on the neck, turning and looking over your right shoulder, you get to kind of adjust so that the practice feels good for you. Next, exhale, come back through center. Bring this right foot to the floor. So this is a seated tree pose. Left leg is out long and the right knee is bent. You can flex your left toes towards your face to get a bit of a deeper stretch through the back of the left leg. So using breath, nice inhale to reach your arms up. And then slowly exhale, reaching for your right foot, your left foot. And if you aren't there, always an option to just tense your fingertips on the floor. Working on keeping the back of your neck nice and long, softening through your belly. And folding as you exhale. And if your hands are to your left foot, you can always pull the toes and the ball of the foot towards your face and feel a stretch at your left calf. Go ahead and press your way back up, sitting up nice and tall, and we'll go to the other side. So we'll use our hands now and reach for your left foot and leg. So your left hand to your left knee and your right foot to the sole of your left foot. And kind of just slowly rocking from here and kind of just taking inventory to see how things are feeling this evening. For more of a stretch, you can wrap your shin in your arms, kind of squeeze in to feel a stretch through your left glute area. And then we'll let the right leg come out long. So if you'd like to drop a hand back for support and kick your right leg out. Flexing your right foot towards your face. Let's take a nice breath in. Squeeze the left leg in, let the heart lift. And then on the exhale, guide your left foot up and over the right. So this left leg is staying bent. And we'll come into another twist here. Inhale, twist, reach your right hand up to the ceiling. Left fingertips are on the ground, and on the exhale, begin to hook your right elbow to your left knee. And twist. So even in the twist, we're working on the spine, lengthening up towards the ceiling. Your chin is parallel with the floor. We're not really forcing too much with this right elbow on the left knee. And on your next exhale, come back to center. Drop into that seated tree pose. So keeping the left leg bent, but just kind of dropping it to the floor with the left foot against the right thigh. Flexing your right toes towards your face, seated tree. Inhale, so you lengthen, reach through your fingertips. And then keeping a flat back, see if you can exhale and reach for the right foot. Allowing yourself to soften a bit on the exhales. And if you're reaching for your right foot and you're not quite there yet, this is a good pose for a yoga strap or some sort of towel or belt that could wrap around your foot, and your hands could hold on to that. Awesome. As you exhale, come back up towards center. And we will cross the legs again. Leave your right fingertips on the floor, and as you breathe in, reach your left hand towards the ceiling. So nice straight line through the left side body, reaching up through your left hand and through the left fingertips. Take a nice breath in. On your exhale, start to reach over towards your right. And so we're pretty gentle here in our right hand. And as you exhale, continue to reach towards your right and feel a stretch through the right side body. So through the right ribs, a little bit near the hip. And your gaze can either be up at the ceiling, straight ahead, or at the floor. On your next exhale, come back up through center, sit up nice and tall. Prep for the other side, so left fingertips stay down. As you inhale, reach your right arm up. And then as you exhale, reach over towards your left. Reach through your right fingertips, and as you do that, notice how the right arm really becomes engaged. So we're reaching with intention and sort of mindfully moving. We're not kind of just laying here hanging out. So I like to always spread the fingers, spread the toes, keep reaching. Another breath in. And exhale back to center. Let's go to the other side. So right hand down on the ground. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, reach for a deeper stretch. Drop to your right forearm and right elbow. And then back through center to the other side. Option for a deeper stretch by dropping down to the left elbow and your left forearm. So as you exhale, start to bend over towards the left and reach with that right hand. Awesome, and coming back through center. Sitting up nice and tall. Let your hands rest on your knees, and we're going to just take the upper body in some circles. Staying relaxed through your elbows, relaxed through the fingertips. And the great thing about yoga is you get to make lots of choices that hopefully work for you. So if you feel like hanging in one spot for a little bit longer, definitely do that if it's feeling good. And when you feel all set with that, we'll come back to a more still spot, and leaving the hands on the knees, we'll do seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, we're going to curve in the spine, let the heart lift up, and the gaze looks up towards the ceiling, and the chin is lifting. And on the exhale, reverse. So we start to round in the spine, tuck the chin, let your belly button hug towards your spine, and my arms sort of start to stretch out, my shoulder blades pull away from the spine. And then again, the inhale breath will bring you to cow pose. So curving in the spine, lifting the heart, maybe gazing up. My elbows are bent. And then exhale nice and slowly so you can really feel the movement. Round in the spine, drop your chin to your cat pose. And a couple more times just like that, inhaling to your cow pose. Exhaling to cat. And one more time. Inhale, curving in the spine, gazing up. And exhale, round in your spine. And then come back up through center. Relax the shoulders and shift into your child's pose. Finding your way onto all fours and bringing your knees to the edges of your mat. You want to flip onto the tops of your feet, and if you can, bring your big toes together to touch. And your hands will start reaching forward to the front edge of your mat. And allow the chest to drop and your forehead to rest either on the mat or using a pillow or a yoga block if the forehead isn't coming down completely. Another option would be stacking hand over hand and letting your forehead rest gently on the top of your hand. If the arms are stretched out in front of you, go ahead and spread the fingertips out nice and wide so you've got the index finger at 12 o'clock. And as you press into the finger pad, see if you can lift your wrists and elbows up off the mat in your child's pose. So this is an active child's pose as we're pressing into the finger pads. On the exhale, notice if you can lengthen through your spine and kind of use this weight pressing into your hands to actually send your hips down closer towards your heels. And then find your way just to a more restorative child's pose. So letting the forearms and elbows drop down to the ground, maybe loosening the grip through your fingertips. And allowing the body to soften for another breath. And slowly pressing your way up. Bring the knees a bit closer towards one another so they are about hips width distance apart, and we are going to thread the needle. So we're going to take our right hand, we're going to slide the right hand and arm underneath this left arm. Start to bend the left elbow so that it's comfortable, or reach your left hand up above and you're actually dropping onto your right shoulder and the side of your head on the right side. So the left hand is palm up towards the ceiling. So we're getting a stretch through our back and shoulder in this pose. And then in your time, gently work your way out of this. So I like sliding my left hand back a bit and then pressing into that left hand and taking that right arm out from under there. And we'll go to the other side now. So we're going to drop down to the left shoulder, inside the head on the left side. My left palm is face up towards the ceiling, and I'm just taking my time adjusting my right hand and arm so that it's in a comfortable spot for me. And lovely, find your way out of this, and we'll meet in a neutral tabletop position. Checking in with the knees, making sure they are hips width distance apart and the knees are right underneath your hips. Those fingertips are spread nice and wide, just like they were in your child's pose and how they will be in downward facing dog. Your shoulders are right over the wrists, and soften a bit through your elbows. We want to engage the core in our tabletop, so we do that by almost like we're pressing the mat away from us, so our arms are engaged. And the back of the neck is long. And from here, kick the right foot back behind, flex your right toes down towards the ground. Again, back of the neck is long. We're kicking through the right heel. And as you do that, it almost automatically just fully engages the leg. If you want to stay here, you can, or start to lift your left hand forward. So the left fingertips are spread nice and wide, your thumb facing up towards the ceiling. Continue using your core here. So if you notice yourself sinking into that right shoulder, see if you can turn the core on and press down through the finger pads in the right hand. So we're going to do kind of a balancing exercise here. We're going to take a breath in, and on the exhale, start moving your left hand over towards the left hand corner of the mat and this right foot out to the bottom right hand corner of your mat. So you're now in a diagonal almost. So we're using our obliques here. And then as you inhale, come back to center, so lengthen out. And then on the exhale, come slightly off center here. Remember to continue engaging the core. Inhale back to center. Exhale slightly off center. Inhale, come back to center. Leave the right leg raised and drop your left hand right underneath your left shoulder. We'll come into a calf stretch from here. So drop your right toes to the ground and press into your hand. Start working your right heel down towards the ground to get an opening through the back of the right leg. And so now we're pressing down through the two hands, and work on keeping your left knee down on the ground. And then bending the right knee and lowering back down to tabletop. So neutral tabletop position, check in with the hands and the alignment. And let's go ahead and kick your left leg back behind you. Flex your left foot. So you're pressing back through your heel. Back of the neck is nice and long, and you have the option to stay here, or if you'd like, reach your right hand forward, so reaching through the arm and hand. Again, if you notice yourself sinking in, engage the core and really press through the right knee and the left hand. And we'll do the same exercise on this side, so take a breath in. And exhale, come slightly off center, so work your right arm and hand to the top right-hand corner of your mat and your left leg to the back left corner. Inhale back to center. Keep lengthening out and reaching as you exhale slightly off center. And again, inhale to center. And exhale slightly off center. Inhale, now come back to center. Leave your left leg raised. Gently drop your right hand down underneath your right shoulder. And start to drop your left foot onto the mat. Press into your hands, work on the left heel working its way down towards the floor of the mat. And keeping the right knee down as you press through the hands. Awesome. Drop on back. Oh, wait a second. Oh, never mind if I forgot something. Okay, come back to a neutral tabletop position. Let's come into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under. Bring your hands maybe 4 or 5 inches up, so they're a bit closer to the top edge of the mat. Keep those fingertips spread nice and wide. We want to start lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. And in our first downward facing dog, start with peeling the heels away from the mat and have a nice bend through your knees. So the hands and feet are about shoulder width distance apart. You're engaging through your arms and sending your chest back towards your thighs. And you want to let your head and neck hang heavy. And if you're warmed up, or if you'd like to get into a bit of a deeper downward facing dog, work on straightening through your knees. And now sending your heels down towards the floor. So that will have a deeper stretch through the backs of the legs. And a modification for downward facing dog would be dolphin pose, so dropping down to your forearms. From downward facing dog, we're going to bring our right foot forward between our 2 hands. So in this position, we're sort of in a low lunge. You've got your hands down on the floor on either side of your right foot. And you can either drop the left knee or keep it lifted. If you're keeping it lifted, work on your left knee lifting up towards the ceiling to really engage the leg. Leave your left fingertips down on the ground and twist and reach your right hand towards the ceiling. And so here we're kind of hugging our belly button in. We want to be really grounding down through this right foot, the knees right over the ankle, and reaching up with the right fingertips. Take another breath in. Exhale, lower down. Drop your right fingertips to the floor and prep for the other side. So nice breath in. Go ahead and reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Notice if you start tensing up through the shoulders, see if you can relax there and keep with a nice steady breath. Okay, exhale, drop your left hand down. Drop to your back knee, so we're dropping the left knee down. And we'll shift our hips back for runner's stretch, straightening through your right leg, flex the right toes towards the face. And to go deeper into this pose, work on folding the upper body down towards the right knee, towards the right toes. And then we'll shift from here, start bending through your right knee. Bring your right foot to the floor, hands are down on the ground. We're gonna lift our hips up so this back leg straightens. We sort of step it up and out. And your left foot should be angled up at the top left-hand corner of your mat. So this is a pyramid pose. The right toes are facing directly forward. Hands are on the ground and work on folding over your right thigh. And in this pose, your right hip is kind of working its way back. So the hips are even. So if you find yourself with your hips kind of open to a lot of this open space to the left of you, see if you can really ground down through your feet, engage the core, and kind of shift yourself so you're folding more so over the thigh of the right leg. If this doesn't feel good, bend the knees a bit. And you can always bring your feet closer together too. From here, come into sort of a halfway lift. So just lifting to a flat back. And we're just going to step forward to a forward fold. So bring this left foot up to meet your right. The feet are about hips width distance apart. And bend your knees and fold. Relax through your head and neck in your forward folds. And the feet should be parallel with one another. We want to ground down into all four corners of the feet. So if you notice that your weight kind of goes the inside of the feet, see if you can evenly spread out the body weight on the soles of the feet. We'll breathe in and come into a halfway lift. Bring your hands to the shins, so they're just gently touching the shins, and the heart's pulling forward, back of the neck nice and long. Exhale, fold forward. And 2 more times. Inhale, lift halfway, keeping a soft bend through your knees. And exhale, fold. And 1 more time. Inhale, lift halfway. So there should be some space between the shoulders and the ears. Exhale and fold. Press to the feet, big inhale. Rise all the way up. Let the arms come with you. So press to your feet. Carry the arms up overhead, hands to touch. Big exhale as you fold forward. So staying soft through the knees. We're going to find our way back to downward facing dog. So inhale, lift halfway. And exhale. From here, you can step right back to downward facing dog, or if you'd like to come into a high plank, we'll get there by just adding a couple poses. So in our high plank, your shoulders are right over the wrists, fingertips spread nice and wide. Option to drop the knees down to the mat if you'd like. Use your core, take a big inhale. Exhale, start to bend the elbows and lower all the way down. So the elbows actually squeeze in and back. You can feel them kind of graze your ribs here. Flip onto the tops of your feet. We'll inhale to Cobra Pose. So continue hugging the elbows in. And we're hugging to the midline here. You're kind of using the glutes a little bit, lifting the heart up. And exhale, lower down. Let's tuck the toes under, shift back to downward facing dog. If you'd like to move through a tabletop first, sometimes that can feel nice. All right, from our downward facing dog, let's take a breath in. And exhale the breath out. Begin to take that left foot, bringing it up to the top of the mat between the two hands. The left foot should be facing directly forward with your knee right over the ankle. And if you're feeling a little off balance, walk the feet more apart widthwise, so it's like your feet are on train tracks. That can always help with the balance. So we're gently using the fingertips as they are on the floor. And you can drop the right knee here if it's lifted, kind of lifting the back of the right knee up towards the ceiling. And let's leave this right hand down and inhale, twist and reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Really grounded down through the feet. These left fingertips are reaching and allowing this arm to extend and reach up for another breath. And then exhale, lower your left hand down. We'll go to the other side. Take a breath in, twist and reach. Right arm reaching up. And exhale, lower down. Start to drop your right knee down to the floor and straighten through your left leg, coming into a runner stretch. If the runner stretch is feeling like too much, you can softly bend through your left knee. And if the hamstrings are tight, kind of staying in a more upright position might feel good if it's feeling like too much of a stretch. So the more you lean the upper body over the left leg, the deeper the stretch will be through your hamstring here. Working our way into our pyramid pose. Bend your left knee, bring the left foot to the floor. And we are going to lift the hips up, step your right foot up and out slightly. And then really ground down through the heel, mount up the big toe. And the goal in this pose is to have straight legs. And if that doesn't feel okay, bring a bend to your knees. And we're folding over the left thigh. Keep grounding down through your feet and let the head and neck relax as you fold over the left leg. Keeping your hands gently on the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. The top of your head is reaching forward, and we're going to step forward to a forward fold. Bringing the feet about hips width distance apart, having them be parallel. Bend the knees and fold forward. Coming to ragdoll here, grab opposite elbows. And so the head is falling sort of between the arms. Gently release your hands and bring your right hand between your two feet. Work on straightening a bit through your left leg and bending through your right knee. Really ground down to this left foot. We're going to twist and reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Feeling a stretch through the left leg and glutes. And as you exhale, fold forward. Bring your left hand between the two feet. Straighten through the right leg. Soften through the left knee. And then go ahead and reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. This is a really great pose for a block that you could prop your left fingertips up on. Spread those right fingertips as you reach for another breath. And exhale, let it go, forward fold. And inhale, lift halfway so the heart pulls forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press through the feet and rise up. So engage through the legs. And reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Hands come to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Roll the shoulders down your back. And press through your feet. And inhale, arms reach up. Option 2, really press through the feet, gaze up, and even press the hips forward, if that feels all right. Big exhale, forward folds. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, drop your hands. You can either press right back to downward facing dog or step into a high plank. So this is sun salutation A. Power up through your high plank. Option to drop the knees. On your exhale, bend the elbows and start to lower down towards the mat. Flip onto the tops of your feet. An inhale will bring you into Cobra. So your elbows squeeze in towards the ribs. Or an upward facing dog is straightening through the arms. Staying a little soft through the elbows and letting the heart open up. And then on the exhale, start to curl the toes, bend the knees, and shift into downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for a nice big breath in. And a long exhale out through the mouth. And we will do that again. So begin to walk your feet up towards your hands. So the feet are either hips width distance apart, or for more of a challenge through your balance, you can actually bring your feet together so the big toes are touching, but there's about an inch between your heels. So if you'd like to give that a try. And so leave the feet like that. Big inhale, press to the feet, rise up. Bring the arms and hands together and exhale, hands to heart center. Pressing down through the feet and engaging through your legs, we will do that sun salutation again. So an inhale, arms reach up, spread your fingertips as you lift and reach. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale as you lift halfway. And then exhale, either to high plank or going right back to your downward facing dog. Let the exhale carry you into a low plank, lowering all the way down. Elbows squeeze in. Inhale, you flip to the tops of your feet. Cobra Pose or upward facing dog. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. And a nice breath in. And big exhale out. Let's roll up to a high plank again. So shoulders right over the wrist. We're going to shift into side plank. So right hand stays down on the mat. You can either drop your right knee for support or having both feet on the floor works good. And the left fingertips reach up. Another option for a modification is bringing your left leg behind you with your toes on the ground. So the left leg is bent. Shift back to your high plank, and we'll go to the left side here. So that modification is being on the pinky edge side of your left foot, and then letting the right foot drop to the floor behind you a bit. That makes sense. Reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling. A nice breath in. And exhale, come on back to your high plank and shift on back down. We're facing down. And nice and slowly start creeping your feet up towards your hands. And on the next inhale, press your feet and rise all the way up. And reaching the arms up. Bring your hands to heart center. Press through your feet. Soften through your shoulders. Soften through the muscles of the face. And we'll shift to a balancing pose, tree pose. So bringing your body weight into your left foot and leg. Bend your right knee. And then the sole of the right foot can either stay on the floor, or if you'd like to bring it below your knee, and then above the knee works as well. So some options for the tree pose. Also, if you're near a wall, you can always use that for some balance. And your hands can be wherever you like them, so either at the hips, at heart center, or even reaching up towards the ceiling. So for this pose, the left foot should be facing directly forward. And this right knee is actually pulling and opening up behind you to get an opening through the right hip. And even the core is engaged, you're really grounded through the leg. That leg is engaged. Another deep breath in. And exhale, let that go. So drop that foot down. Bring your feet to about the width of your mat. Soften through the knees and shake from side to side. And from here, we'll get ready for the other side. So bringing the feet either close together, or maybe just a couple inches between them. Right foot is facing directly forward, so ground down through that right foot. Bend your left knee. And then placing the left foot along the right leg wherever you decide. So maybe going through up all three of them. And as your left foot is pressing into your right thigh is engaged and almost pressing back into it. So you've got this nice connection happening there. And heart's kind of lifting up. Any sort of option that feels good with the hands and arms, either reaching up towards the ceiling or leaving them at heart center. We want to ground down through our right heel in the mound of the big toe. And keep lengthening up, take another breath in. And big exhale out, find your way out of that. Separate the feet a bit and sway from side to side. All right. From here, why don't we come down to a squat? So bring the feet to the edges of the mat if they weren't quite there yet. The feet are at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, knees are bent. And you can rock from side to side here, get the hips to open up a bit. A more still squat would be hands at heart center with elbows in towards pressing against the thighs. And a modification for this would be sitting on a yoga block. And so shoulders are rolling down the back, the heart is open, taking another breath. And exhaling out. We're going to drop our hands behind us. We're going to lower our bottom down. We'll come into reverse tabletop. So feet are parallel, toes at 12 o'clock. Fingertips are facing towards your heels. Gently press into your hands and feet and lift the hips up. Keep your chin tucked in towards the chest if you feel any sort of pain through the neck when you start to drop back. So if that's feeling uncomfortable, keep the chin tucked in. Awesome. Exhale, lower down. Come into, let's go into Pigeon Pose. So you have the option to take this laying down on your back. It's a stretch for the glutes. So the option here would be bending the right leg, bringing your right ankle to the left knee area. And so this would just be done laying down on your back and then using your hands and interlacing them behind this left leg and pulling your left leg closer towards you. For a deeper stretch in this pigeon pose, walk everything in closer towards one another. So the left heel slides in closer towards the glute. Walk these hands in a bit closer. And you're pressing into the hands, engaging through your arms, lifting the heart. And then in your way, find your way out of this side. And set up for the other side, taking your left leg and left ankle, crossing it over your right knee. And then feeling this out and making the choice to either stay as you are or hug things in a bit closer for a deeper stretch. And even as we're here in this pose, see if on the exhales, if there's anywhere you can melt a little bit or soften. And gently find your way out of that. Extend the legs out nice and long and roll down onto your back if you're not already there. Quick spinal twist here, so hugging the right knee into the right shoulder, the left leg stays long. And as you exhale, carry this right leg over towards the left, gazing either up at the ceiling or over towards your right hand, and the shoulders staying down on the mat. If this isn't feeling good or you want support for your knee, you can always use a yoga block or a pillow and place it right underneath your right knee. And then flowing back through center, extend the right leg, hug your left knee into your left shoulder. And then as you exhale, guide your left leg up and over towards the right. And finding a gaze point either at the ceiling or looking over towards that left hand. And on your next exhale, coming back through center, separate the legs a bit. So we'll come into our final resting pose. So the ankles and feet are kind of at the corners of the mat. And your arms are wherever they feel comfortable. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. So feel free to close your eyes. Drop into a full body scan. So notice if there's any holding anywhere. And we'll work on those deep inhales through the nose and long, slow exhales out through your mouth. And another time, full breath in. And a big exhale out. And you're always, of course, welcome to stay in this pose for much longer. But if you'd like to wrap up, squeeze the knees into your chest. We'll find our way up to a comfortable seated position. So either sitting cross-legged or in a hero's pose with the hips back on the heels. A nice inhale, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Relax through your shoulders. We'll finish with a nice breath in. And full exhale out. Thank you for joining and practicing. Namaste. I hope to see you guys next Monday. I will be teaching. So happy spring. Hydrate. Hope you're feeling good.